So, let me pull up my,
こいつが昨夜落ちてきた隕石か？
びっくりしたよ。寝ていたらすごい音が聞こえてきて、ドアを開けたらこいつがあったんだ。ナックルズ、もうすぐメガロステーションだよ。
okay, so, man, that's freaking wild. So I got over here, and I was thinking, which game should I play? And I forgot I hadn't beaten this one yet. So I got all my other stuff set up. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to. It's right now. It's actually between Pokemon Diamond for the next game and Super Mario RPG. But anyway, I got in here just to let you know. So, but I got in here and my mouse was dead, my keyboard was dead, my Switch and my controllers for the Switch were dead. Both, all of them. Like there's. Anyway. So I had to go find an extra mouse and a keyboard to plug in while the other ones charge. So. Why does that look so bad? Hold on. Is that just... Hold on. Whoa. Okay, I see it. Window capture, transform, fit to screen. Anyway. Okay. Alright, let's beat this game, and then let's move on to the next one. I'm turning on my Switch as well to charge my controllers. Okay. Game start. Now I gotta remember what I'm doing. Normal race. World Grand Prix. This one. I want silver. Man. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna have to warm up.
I'm using everything I've got.
I just went over the edge. I gotta remember what I'm doing here. Okay. That was my warm-up. So, what's everybody been doing? I do that every time because it's inverted. Oh well. I'm just gonna get, I'll get used to it. I got caught in a tornado. I've never seen that before. Go this way. Well, I screwed that up real bad. Yeah, this second Grand Prix is way harder than the first. I got hit by a tornado. I've never done that before. Crap. I hate it when it does that. Kicks me off the board. more of the tricks. Really trying to do it. Just hit it at the same time today. These crazy tricks. See that? Okay, this next one is very difficult. This next one's the stupid ice jungle. It's an ice jungle. And it's my freaking nemesis. Everything else is mostly fine. Oh, never mind. This is a nice side rush. I didn't see the ramp. well, there it was. On the left. I just knocked him right out of the way at the end. Now it's the ice jungle. So I gotta really pay attention here.
I'm using everything I've got.
Alright, here we go.
Got it.
See, I'm not gonna make that. I'm just not gonna make that.
Ear jam.
Hello.
Ear jam.
Dude, I hate this level so much. This is crazy.
Let's go. Let's go. Got it. Got it.
Oh, I see. I see. I see. I see. Turn. Okay, I didn't know you could do that.
Later. Got it. Got it. Got it. Ear jam.
Oh God. Made it barely. Hello. Oh God.
Got it. I am
Ha.
going to be
I got first. I went from 8th to 1st. Oh yeah, I forgot that. I forgot to answer. Nolan said the plan is Louisville to make it a bit more affordable for larger groups close to home. A hotel room in case we need a place to crash, but I haven't shopped around yet. I'll try to sort those about details. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, that was my kryptonite right there, and I got first, so we're looking real good. 3 firsts in a row, so I just gotta not really screw up. Oh, crap.
I'm using everything I've got.
I can't grind. It's very sweet. Oh, okay, so you fly there. I see. Okay. Alright. I'm just kind of memorizing the level so I don't have to freak it. Wow. That worked out really well. Okay, this time I can actually fly through the hoop. Go. Woo. Okay, almost fell off there. That would have been very bad. That made me very sad. Oh no, I'm gonna fall off. Oh, I'm not gonna fall off. Yeah, I am. Crap. Oh, I just went through the level. He just pushed me through the level. Now I'm third. Ah. No, I'm not.
I am not to be trifled with.
That was stupid. Alright. 4 first places in a row. Okay, this one's gonna be, this one. Alright, I gotta remember, I gotta go left next time. Yeah, this one's gonna be a pain. Oh, oh god. Howdy, howdy. That didn't work so well. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, actually, you can ask any question that's on topic or not. just kind of hanging out. Oh, crap. Okay, I was third. I was first every other time. That level's kind of crazy. Especially the third part. The third part's kind of nuts. I'm still pretty far ahead, so let's see. I just gotta win. I just gotta get first. That's it. That is it.
I'm using everything I've got.
Oh, I see. There it goes. Do I like Sonic Riders 1 or 2 more? Ooh, that's a good question. Man, it's been a long time since I played the first Sonic Riders, like when it first came out on GameCube, and I'm just getting to this one. But from what I remember, I like the first one better. That might have been the nostalgia talking. Make it. Go, go, go. I do like this stuff, though. There's some cool stuff in this one. I'm pretty far behind. Oh, that's interesting. It got me caught on something there. I was wondering what you guys thought on real Magami's. Oh wait, hold on. I'm flying. Use on God. That looks like it slows me down. It doesn't look like it helps. He's awesome. Crap. Oh well. I still won, I'm pretty sure. Oh god, can't be multiplied. He's awesome. I can remember any of, so I think I've only heard him one time. So I'm trying to remember any of his arguments. I don't see why a Trinity can't, hey, there we go. I don't see why a Trinity can't be, can't exist, I'll say. So all the persons of the Trinity are essentially correlated, right? So they're essentially well, they essentially covariate and essentially correlated within an essence, right? And that essence is what is Ase. Now, a lot of the answers to like questions like that are going to end up being on theories of the Trinity, and there's a number of them. Like, actually, I was talking with Matt about that like last week, but I can't remember them or anything. I can't remember a lot of them at least. And it's funny, Islamic Neoplatonism. It's that those two terms together have always kind of made me like giggle because if by Neoplatonism they tend to mean something along the lines of abstracta, I wonder what his theory of the relationship between God and abstracta are. Okay, and have you looked into Sonic Riders Tournament Edition, the mod for PC that you can play against other people? Oh no, I haven't. I haven't looked into that. Those people probably play like non-stop. So they'll probably just wreck me. Okay, well, it looks like I've done everything in the game. Well, not everything, but it looks like I've beaten the core of the game. So, I am actually looking to... I'm looking to start another game. And I'm trying to see if everything's charged. Is this dead or not? Let's see. So what's the battery on this thing now? Console battery, 37%. Alright. So, let me put that on there, take these off. We'll probably go over to Mario RPG first. Well, maybe. No. Can we see that Jesus is all say, though? Since Jesus did have a time where he began to exist as a human, that is. I think we can. When we talk about aseity, we're talking about divine beings, right? We're not talking about finite beings. And Jesus' human nature is accidental to his nature. Like he's not essentially a human, but he is essentially ase, right? And that's like kind of his divine nature. So, and the aseity portion there is it's just on his divine nature. So I don't see it as being applied to his human nature at all. In essence, Jesus could hold the divine essence, and we can call that ase. But wouldn't that contradict his humanity? No, it wouldn't contradict it. Like, so, Jesus' humanity is something that is built on top of his divine nature. That's literally what it means to be God, or like Jesus specifically. Like, human nature is accidental to him. So it's something that he didn't have to take on, but he did. And actually, J.P. Moreland made that point one time. Someone said to him, Jesus is 100% God and 100% man. And I mean, that kind of sounds like a contradiction, right? So even if it's not a contradiction, the better terminology would be something like, Jesus is authentically human and authentically God. Right? So that's kind of a much better way to put it. And if you put it that way, there's no contradiction with the aseity. And aseity actually, this is fun to talk about modal categories. So there are 3 in general. Well, 2 in general. Give you 2 real general ones. There's things that exist ase, and there's things that exist ab alio. Things that exist ase are independent and necessary. Right. So independent. Sometimes called like essential or initial independence. And then ab alio, it means through another, right? So, and that you have things that are dependent and necessary, like abstract objects, and things that are dependent and contingent, like us. So those are the 3 modal categories there. And Jesus existed timelessly, songs of the creation, and that's all that you really need there, I think, for a Sadie. Sounds Catholic. I don't know. This is the same. This is actually what Craig's view is. He's Protestant. Yeah, now I don't agree with him on everything. I don't agree with Craig on absolutely everything, but I've actually disagreed with him in person about some things. But he's pretty spot on most of the time. Okay, so I'm trying to decide next game between Pokemon Diamond, which I haven't played a Pokemon game in maybe 15 to 18 years, maybe 15 years ago. Probably no, not even 15 years ago. I was probably like 16. So that's 18 years ago, I guess. Oh, drowned out by the game music? Let me see. There's only a way to turn down the game music. So I did that a little bit. Craig's view on Jesus? No, I don't think. No, it's not heretical. Not that I'm pretty sure it's perfectly in line with the creeds, the church fathers, etc. Now that's the last time I heard it. I'm not saying he hasn't changed it. It's been a while, so I'm not. I would have to look up exactly what he said in order to actually get it right, because that's just how little I look into stuff like that. The only time I really get concerned, so it's kind of a luxury to look into that stuff for me right now. But I'm only concerned when I'd only be concerned if somebody's saying that something's contradictory within Jesus or the divine nature or the Trinity or something. That would be that would start to concern me, and then I'd have to look at exactly what they're saying. So good now. Yeah, Matt's looked into that part a lot more. So here's a funny thing. We were talking about Matt. So, who wrote this? Let me. It's called something like Foxes and Hedgehogs. And Foxes and Hedgehogs. Oh, it's Isaiah Berlin. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Isaiah Berlin talked about he talked about hedgehogs and foxes, types of philosophers, and foxes turns out to be the kinds of people who want to know something about everything. They kind of just love all philosophical ideas. That's Matt. I'm a hedgehog. Hardcore. Hedgehogs care about foundations and delving into a few areas as deep as you possibly can, and then going back and going off branches of those things. That's me. So Matt's actually probably the most widely read person I've ever met in my life. So he goes around. He knows a lot. He knows a decent amount about everything. And then I pick a few areas, and I just know a lot about those areas. And so when it comes to theories of the Trinity, it's not one of the areas I've looked a lot into because I just so focused on all these other areas. So, so I love that. It's pretty funny. Heard Craig's view on God at the time is quite heretical. Something about God being dependent to time due to his stance on presentism. I can't remember that well. Oh yeah. So it's not a. It's one of those things where he thinks that God sans the universe was timeless, but with the universe, I said at the first moment of time, God entered into time willingly and contingently to have temporal relations with the creatures that he created. And so there has to be some kind of story as to how God can actually relate to us temporally, and that's his. And so there's been kind of back and forth on God being timeless or God being in time. So because yeah, so presentism I think is the standard view. In order to actually say that God knows what time it is now, like right now, that's a temporal relation. So you have to kind of spell it out some way without God, the relationship between God and time being somehow contradictory. So, but yeah, he's a huge nerd. Yeah, he's actually on vacation this week. He's in Florida, I think, visiting family and stuff. So he's just taking a break this week, and I'm hanging out playing games. Let me see. Let me see some Pokemon Diamond there. Did it download this? It did not. Okay, I might stutter for a second because I'm downloading. Oh, never mind. Oh, there was that. Let me see. Was Pokemon Diamond for the DS? Nintendo DS emulator kind of thing. So there's that. It's over here. I don't want that. Daggone it. Okay, I may stutter for just a second, because I'm taking that to bandwidth right now. Yeah, Matt's been taking a break for 5 years. Yeah. Other issues to hold a position of believing God can be both timeless and interactive to time through omniscience. Well, it would have to be, he'd have to be acting, so I mean, he'd have to be going through his omnipotence and also through his omniscience, both. And so, on the one hand, so if God acts in time, it would always be true. So once that God does anything in time, necessarily there's a temporal relation there between God and time. So, or God and everything else, really, everything else in time. So if God does something in time, then you have to look back and say, you can still, no matter what point in time it was always true that God did this thing, X. So there's always going to be some kind of temporal relation there, and that seems, to kind of imply that, well, God's in time. On the other hand, it is true that God's omnipotent, so it doesn't really take any time for God to act. He can do things instantaneously. But even so, there's still going to be temporal relations with God if He's actually doing things in time, right? So it's not kind of like it. Time's not like you stick your hand in water and then can kind of pull it out again, right? So, I mean, once you're in time, you're not just going to get out because there's always going to be temporal relations there. Now, if you do have a sort of four-dimensionalism about time, right, or a growing block view of time, or some kind of B theory of time, then you could make some more sense of God instantaneously doing something. Than you could with maybe something like presentism. The problem is, then on four-dimensionalist views of time, you're going to have to start coming up with pretty crazy theories of persistence and identity over time, that's what it is. And it just doesn't seem plausible. A lot of those. So I'm definitely a presentist. I don't think the past exists any longer, and I think the future is yet to exist. So, things are downloading. Let's see. Maybe I can try some Mario RPG. So, because I think I have that kind of ready here. Here. Okay, let me plug some things in here. I might need another HDMI cable. Where does that go? This goes here. Okay. There's one more HDMI cable. Be right back. It's right over here. Well, this should be able to reach. Let's see here. That's HDMI in and HDMI out is right here. Come on. Oh, this is a display port cable. Oh, I'm quite a layman on these issues, so some terms just blew over my head. Yeah, sorry. I see that's the challenge. I don't know where everybody's at because everybody's at different places, and some people don't like have you have specializations that I don't know about, and vice versa. But in terms of that, if God is in time and can't get out of it due to relations with temporal beings, then how can we use the Kalam as an argument for God? Well, because the Kalam only requires that their sans the universe, there was a timeless being that served as the foundation and creation of the universe. That's all we need for it. It's like God, you can think, it's not like this, but you can think of God creating a container, the universe, and then getting inside of it. I say this because if the Kalam says the universe began to exist, so if that's the case, then God must be time. Right, so sans the universe, correct. Without the universe, God's timeless, correct. But once the universe is here, right, there's no problem with God entering into it. Right? He could do that if he wanted to. Yeah. No, you're doing good. You're doing just fine. Oh my gosh. Getting around this entire table. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do this. Just do this. Okay. There's my switch. Alright. Time modalism? No, that'd be horrible. Like God has different modes of time. Well, if you posited a hyper time, then he would, I suppose. But yeah, there's I don't see any reason to do that. Some people have posited that kind of thing. I think Hugh Ross posited that one time. Yes, it was a physicist in him that did that. So, okay. So everybody can see this, right? Is the sound coming through for game? Game. A new update? I don't think... how do I even have internet? But I don't even think I have internet on this thing. Yeah, here we go. Internet settings. You're going to see my password probably. I don't care. Regalia. Metaphysics, folks. And it's funny that's what I am so metaphysically minded you wouldn't believe it, and a lot of people can't believe it and are taken off guard by it. Like, okay, here we go. Update. So, metaphysics is so important to me that I'm just like, I can't, like, because I care, like, I'm huge on foundations for, like, morality and logic and beauty and things like that. And by foundations, there doesn't seem to be any meaningful sense of a foundation without metaphysics. There has to be something that exists to actually serve as foundations for things. Otherwise, it doesn't seem to make sense, and even if it does, I lose all interest in it. I just don't care. In fact, it's a funny thing. David Enoch once said, "If abstract objects don't exist, then I no longer care about morality, and I would be an error theorist or a non-cognitivist, or cognitivist. I mean, so he would just deny that. He would just think that morality is all false, or he would think that it's not actually uttering truth." Like, no, moral propositions aren't actually truth functional. And I say the exact same thing if God doesn't exist. If God doesn't exist, then morality is just kind of a, symptomatology of, I don't know, evolution or something. Or it's prudence. It's just prudence or something like that. Like, God has different modes. What's hyper time? So, it's just a time that has the time that we're in within it, right? So you just have, it's just kind of a box within a box, a time within time, kind of thing. So people posited that before. They're like, because they try to make sense of, like, God as like a functioning conscious agent. And so they're like, well, he must have been, wasn't he doing things before he created the universe before? And if he was, then that seems to require a time. So it's kind of like a hyper time there where he's thinking or deciding and things. And then he decides to create the universe, which is the time we're in. That's hyper time. So, let me go back so I can see your, here we go. It's all good. I'm not American, so I won't be able to steal it. Yeah, I love metaphysics, though. I find it kind of hard to understand in an aesthetic framework. Try playing devil's advocate for a sec. How do you reconcile abstract things existing if God doesn't exist? Oh, I don't. I think if God doesn't exist, nothing can exist. Period. Yeah. Now, if you're saying if God does exist, and abstract objects exist. I would just be a divine conceptualist. I would say, oh, they're not abstract. They all still exist, but they're concrete in the mind of God. It's the classic divine conceptualist response. Yeah, there needs to be some sort of order to things, a time within time. Swiss philosophy thing is always so fun. Yeah, it's like, hey, philosophy. Then there's meta-philosophy. So I have an intro to philosophy class starting next month, and it's a. And I'm starting it with meta-philosophy. So it's the philosophy of philosophy. metaphysics. Kind of the physics of physics, maybe? Want Super Mario RPG here? Oh, I gotta change my game. Like what game I'm doing here. Edit settings. So let me do it here. Nope. Edit settings here. Alright, here we go. Oh! Almost dropped my controller. Okay. Oh no, I was asking you to play devil's advocate. Oh, me play devil's advocate. Oh. Is it trying to show to know if you know some good arguments for atheism with metaphysics? Okay. Well, I mean, yes. So there's a number of arguments for atheism, but so for metaphysical arguments. Well, one thing that I've said before is a number of Christians seem to think that like the vast majority of humanity goes to hell. Right? So, and if that's the case, then it would have been better that this universe not exist, kind of thing, or this world not exist. And I mean, that's I used to think about that argument like I was like, okay, if I were an atheist, this would be an argument I would give. Although I don't see a reason to think that the vast majority of humans end up in hell. But for like specifically metaphysical arguments, so one thing that they tend to set that I could say if I were an atheist would be that atheism is more parsimonious. In other words, we can actually explain the data from variety of domains around us without positing something as special and fantastic as God. And if we can do that, if I were an atheist, I'd say we can, then it seems that atheism should be the position that we should actually hold. Because it's kind of philosophers' preference for desert landscapes. Where is the... This chat's bigger over here. Scroll down. Scared to dive in meta-philosophy. Yeah, it's... it's actually not too bad. It's just meta-philosophy, like, almost nobody seems to know about it, even professional philosophers, or they don't really care. But what happens if you don't understand like meta-philosophy, you tend to sometimes like talk past other people who have different meta-philosophy. So meta-philosophy is, so you have to, it's your understanding of what philosophy is, what it can do, and what it should be used for. And if you say, hey, philosophy is about discovering what's useful, and that's what it can do, and that's what I'm using it for, and the reason you say that is because you're a pragmatist, so about truth. You think whatever's true is whatever's useful. If that's what you're saying, then you're going to end up talking past a lot of people who do not accept the pragmatist theory of truth, which most people don't. At least in philosophy, the standard is correspondence theory. So, yeah, and that's the thing too. There have been a number of people on YouTube where we understand exactly where they're coming from, and we actually kind of have a two-way respect because we know exactly where each other's coming from, but we strongly disagree on the starting point. So anyway, yeah, all the best with that class. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun. I completely remade the syllabus, so we'll see what happens. The only worry I have about that class, to be honest, is I'm trying not to make it too hard. Like, I'm really trying to, like, I have to keep reminding myself this is an Intro 100 course. Where most people there are not philosophers, etc. And I'm just like, I keep going real high, and then, oh yeah, this is a 100 level course, and I go down a little bit. And I go high again, and I have to remind myself. I keep going back and forth, so. Anyway. Super Mario RPG. I guess we'll do this one. And then we'll do a game called East 3. Dun, 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 dun. You know, I'm going to play through this, but one thing that was nice about the older games was it seemed more charming than this. Like, the graphics and everything, you could see absolutely everything, but in the older graphic games, you couldn't see absolutely everything, and so it left more up to the imagination. And so, I don't know. I kind of prefer the old look. The original Super Mario RPG was on Super Nintendo. See, I'm not well philosophically smart, so I might sound dumb here, but it's hard for you to not posit God and metaphysics because these abstract things are really in proper order and kind of fine-tuned. It's hard, yeah, it's hard because it's like it's asking me to reject what I take to be the foundation for everything, and then try to explain reality that way. I know what atheists tend to say, or non-theists. So like in meta-ethics, they'll posit, a lot of them will posit an actually infinite number of completely different and unique things called abstract objects, rather than positing God, which is a one thing that's concrete. Which we're familiar with concrete things. It's a mind, and we're familiar with minds. So it turns out that you know, they tend to sacrifice the parsimony point, so they're not very parsimonious anymore. And the funny thing is, abstract objects can't even be explained without God. Like, if you try to put propositions in there, propositions have all these features, and I won't go through all of them, but they're doxastic, capable of being believed. They're intentional, which means they're about other things. In other words, they have all the same exact properties as thoughts do. And so they look like the thoughts of God. That's what they look like. I make a joke to Matt all the time that what tends to happen in metaphysical discussions on virtually everything is people tend to just take God, split him into all these different pieces, and then try to explain reality by the non-conscious pieces, like God's thoughts and God's power for other possible worlds and all these other things. Anyway. For your class, I guess you get practice with me. Yeah. I know why, but the newer Nintendo games aesthetics aren't as compelling. Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know, like putty. They look like putty, like little putty figures. I just one-shot him. Oh, I see. Okay. What's my special? Jump? I'm gonna save that. What's the other? Defend, can't run. There we go. Can I fight those things? No. Right, that's my thoughts on metaphysics and an aesthetic framework. It just seems like it's trying to rename God as the universal itself. Yeah, right. Just take all the pieces of God and then try to explain reality by itself. Take thoughts and remove them and then rename them abstract objects. Take God's power and then just talk about possible worlds with no foundation for them. Yeah, things like that. So. That's actually why, by the way, I've started really comparing morality to religion. Morality just seems like a religious enterprise. So people that tend to buy morality without God look to me to be crypto-religious. Oh yeah, I can't wait from Danny from Phil Talk to come in and just absolutely destroy me by saying I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, and this isn't me talking about Danny, I was just thinking, like, a lot of people on YouTube know just enough philosophy to be dangerous to themselves and others. Or they know a lot of philosophy, but they have their own areas, and then they try to talk outside their areas, and then they just kind of, they just rip it to, like, they just rip it to pieces, like, they screw it up pretty badly. Yeah, so, I think one example I can think of, is so one example of someone who like knows a lot in general about philosophy and especially a lot about epistemology is like David Paulman. He knows a good good bit about epistemology. I'm not an epistemologist, and a lot of his videos, most of his videos are pretty informative. But I think when he starts to talk about meta-ethics, he starts off on the wrong foot, and then when you do that, the errors get worse and worse as you go. And that's why I care about foundations, because if you don't get the foundations right, then you're going to go off way into left field, and you don't even know where you'll come out. And I can't, and I could explain that so much more to you with hours of examples, but I won't. I'm trying to remember the other guy's name too that I was thinking of. I forget his name a lot. I don't know why. Anyway. Well, I mean, like, we kind of rely on each other, so like and he said this himself, he doesn't really have an area because he's a fox. Foxes don't tend to have areas. They do tend to have a few, one or two, maybe three areas where they've done a good bit of more research in. he's kind of done that with philosophy of science, some philosophy of physics, things like that. Believe it or not, we're both idealists. Which is, do you know what idealism is? Actually, we're either the same kind or we're pretty close to the same kind of idealist. And it's because it explains a ton of problems in philosophy. Anyway, I came to pick up Princess Peach since she's a bit late. Oh, let me down. Let me down. Let me down. Oh, you jump with... Okay. How do you examine things? To go to sleep, you turn the light off and he jumps on his stomach. Oh, never understood it since you heard it. So, and it started off with Barkley. That's how you say it. Sometimes I do Berkeley. Started off with Barkley, and he started it off by saying there are no material objects, and by that he meant two things. He meant he meant material objects that are independent of God, basically. There are no such things. He's the one that said to perceive is to exist. And that's real funny that he said that at the time he did, because now we kind of see that in quantum mechanics. If you actually look at... so we're both actually very close to what's called quantum idealists. So it'd be like Matt, myself, Bruce Gordon, and a few others. Which is that everything that exists is God's ideas. They're physical, right? They're physical things. But they're God's ideas, specifically. Now, I should qualify. It doesn't... there are some things that are substances. And by that, I mean things that aren't actually ideas. So, us, we're substances. We're not ideas. But the things we interact with on a daily basis turn out to be ideas. But they are physical. They're just not independent material things. And if you believe it or not, that solves a ton of problems. There's a huge problem in philosophy called the problem of material constitution. We're not even sure what material objects are, much less how they could possibly even exist on their own, especially given quantum theory. So there's a lot to it, but it's pretty fun stuff to think about. If you want to look at somebody who really pushes it hard, you can look up Bruce Gordon and look up Bruce Gordon quantum idealism, and he goes through it, and he puts it at a pretty low level, and then he goes deeper after that. So. There's that. Things exist that God thinks of them. Am I getting somewhere with my oversimplified definitions? Well, so some forms of idealism are a form of what's called panentheism, which is that everything is a part of God, but God is more than like the universe. but the version I push isn't exactly that. Everything except for other things made in God's image are part of God. We're made in God's image, right? So we are not ideas. But everything we interact with, like tables and everything, those are ideas. And God is and it's God's idea. This is a table. It's an instance of a table. So it's one idea where God has many ideas of different tables. Things like that. And one way to get a handle on this too, by the way, is there's a lot of paradoxes in material reality. So if you take anything, take this controller, just take all the atoms and split it apart. Does the controller still exist? No, it doesn't. Now it seems kind of weird to think that the controller exists. So push the atoms closer. But it's kind of weird. Isn't it kind of weird to think that once the atoms get to a certain distance from the other atoms in the controller, that all of a sudden, poof, now there's a new object that's in existence called a controller? Just because atoms got close enough together? That seems a little odd. Like when you start to think about material reality, it gets really weird, and then you get into quantum mechanics and it gets crazy. So much so that really material reality is incomplete by itself. So then what do you do with that? Well, you're going to have something holding it together, and they're going to have to explain how it's held together in that way. What you could do is you could deny independent material things. Just say, well, there actually are material or physical things, but those are identical to God's ideas. And that's actually how this controller exists, because it's God's idea, and He has a lot of ideas that you can interact with His permission. He gives us permission to interact with His ideas, and so you still have free will, and you still can go around doing everything just fine, because we're interacting with God's ideas on a daily basis. And it actually kind of comports with like Eastern concepts of like damaging things, or like any kind of life, even bugs. Because when you think about it, if everything's God's ideas, maybe we should kind of treat things with more respect than we do. It kind of puts it's weird, it almost makes everything sacred in a way, or with some kind of divine spark. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, how does this even exist? It does, unless we're going to say it doesn't. So one of the responses to the problem of material constitution is that this actually doesn't exist. Peter Van Nijwagen says that. He says, actually, none of this stuff exists. This is just a controller arranged controller-wise, or a chair arranged chair-wise. He doesn't think there are any material objects at all. Like, not even God's ideas. Like, they don't exist. And that seems kind of ridiculous. This looks like it exists to me. It's not just an arrangement. So, how do you explain that? Well, you explain it by God's ideas. That's what it is. What separates us from animals then? Like, suppose if a cat has its own consciousness, it would probably say we aren't as conscious as a cat is. Thus thinking itself as a substance, us as an idea. Well, so I think what separates us from animals is is the kind of beings we are. So I actually one of the I don't know how many people do believe this, but I actually even think that animals are made in the image of God, but not as much as we are. We relate more closely and intimately with God than animals can, although animals do that. It's because I think they feel pain. I think they have souls, right? And if you have a soul, then you relate to God more than, say, a bug does. But we relate to God more than animals do because we have what's called a rational soul. Yeah, I mean, that's what separates us from animals. We're just different in that way. I've thought of a theory recently where I'm starting to think that actually everybody, every person, and everything that's at all made in the image of God is a different species it's its own species. Because Thomas Aquinas thought this about angels. He thought each angel was its own species. And I don't see why we can't be our own. So, and the reason I think that is because I am different than everybody else. And there has to be something that explains that. There has to be something that, like, because there's a lot of accidental things about me: the color of my hair, like the shape of my hands, this body. There has to be something about me that separates me in every world and every possibility from everyone else, right? And if I'm my own species, that's exactly what would separate me. I'm literally my own unique kind of thing. And same thing for everybody else. So, oh, I have no idea what that means. Yeah, there's a delay in the stream too. So, an arrangement. You're talking about the arrangement. Yeah. So you believe animals are also substances? Yeah, I think so. I think animals are also substances. I think their bodies are ideas. So, like, I think my body is an idea, but me, I'm a substance, made in the image of God, kind of thing. So, where am I at? Where am I even going? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having too much fun, philosophizing instead of gaming. Oh, I gotta go back in here, don't I? Oh, a lot about one of your favorite theodicies? Is it a defense or is it a theodicy? Do you know the difference between those two? Between a defense and a theodicy? Like, I'm asking as I have no idea. Yeah. That buck on your juice tree. Mushroom. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. I know what this is, dang it. Yeah, I know. Are you familiar with the non-essential theodicy, or at least that's what I think it's called? I forgot about it since it was a while ago. Non-essential theodicy. I'm thinking a defense is giving a reason to believe, but theodicy is addressing a problem within defense or an attack. Yeah. So yeah, when somebody gives you some kind of objection, a defense is just not trying to convince the person that the view is right, but just nullifying the objection. Whereas something like a theodicy would be not only like it would be attack. Yeah, it would be not only negating or nullifying the objection, but also giving a positive reason for why the view is true. So the theodicy is stronger than defense. It's like the free will defense. That's why it's called defense. All it does is give them possibilities. So it was an attack against the logical problem of evil by saying here's a possibility, and therefore the logical problem of evil is false. But it still might be true that God doesn't exist or something. But a theodicy says no. The logical problem of evil is false, and here is a reason that God that would make sense that God would have for allowing evil in the world. So yeah, I mean, pretty close there. I don't know if I've ever heard of non-essential theodicy. Oh, okay. HP max, woo. Oops. Dang, I'm not timing that very well. Ah, what time was that? Oh, not essential. It was non-identity. Because theology gets into those topics of what is essentially us and what isn't essentially us. Yeah. I care and what is not essential. Yeah. Yep. To explain the problem of the evil. Yep. Dang, that sucked. Dang it. Bird. Oops, I timed that very badly. There we go. Ow, wow. Leveled up. No, hold on. Oh, yeah. I guess physical. Oh, magic attack and magic defense? Ooh, I don't know what to focus on. Realism, it sounds like it encourages us to more to consume what's God's ideas is rather than his substance, as in how can you defend carnivorous diet with the old idealism? Yeah, you're eating God's ideas. That's funny. Right, so, well, I mean, it depends. So, like, if you're a Christian, then you don't want to just, I mean, so, like, assume an animal is close to dying anyway, like, and it dies. So, even say natural causes, then eating it, that doesn't seem so wrong. But I don't know, just maybe you could say that we shouldn't be just eating animals willy-nilly or something. Kind of have some respect for them. I mean, that's what the Hindus do for cows, at least. But it's kind of impossible to control what people do to animals. So, you know, you get a burger and it could have been that the animal was tortured. Or it could have been that it just died of natural causes. Don't know. But yeah, if you can try not to contribute to the, you know, the unnecessary harm of animals, that'd be great. So that's the only thing on my end there. I don't know. Oh, gauge move? Nah. I'll wait to use that. Back hitches. Here we go. I don't know how to get that for a second. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with eating animals, but I do think there's something wrong with, you know, harming them unnecessarily, right? Then again, and people probably won't like this. I like to do a thought experiment with people in class, and I do this a lot. I say, have you ever thought about what's wrong with cannibalism? And they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, what's wrong with, so, for example, people on their licenses have a donor icon that where you can take stuff out of their body and put into your body as long as they give you permission. Why couldn't you do that with, say, like their leg and your stomach? Why does it have to be like a lung that you actually don't need? People get it, right? Even though they don't need it. So, what's wrong with it? Say, well, they're people. They're humans. They're people. It's like, well, yeah, I know you don't treat them bad, and you only eat like their leg with their permission, right? And it's after they're dead. So, what's wrong with it? And usually people kind of can't tell me. And honestly, like, then I go after, and I say, talking about Catholics, I say, well, look, I like to make everybody mad a lot of times. So, if you're a Catholic, yes, sorry, but under the definition of cannibalism, you are a cannibal if you're correct. But, so that makes them mad. But then I go on the other side and I say, but, you know, what's wrong with cannibalism? And then I defend them for it. And it's just such a funny thing to me. I like screwing with people. Because there's not a really good answer to it to me. The only answer I can think of to it, and this actually might be an answer, is, well, humans are sufficiently made in the image of God such that we shouldn't be eating them. But, that, I mean, I see that as an argument. If that's what it takes, then okay. But I don't know. I don't have that intuition. And you might say, so when you hear the word when you hear the word cannibal, you probably think of like killing someone and then just eating them. Maybe that's what a lot of people tend to think. But that's murder. That's not just eating them. That's murder and then eating without consent. That seems doubly wrong for that reason. And the reason, so under the definition of cannibalism is the hold on. It's the I'm trying to focus. Stupid friggin' monsters. It's the regular consumption of human meat. So, isn't that what Catholics say that happens at Mass? That the flesh of Jesus, who was a human, so the bread and the wine becomes Jesus' flesh and blood, literally, after being blessed by a priest. And they do that every weekend. Is that not regular consumption? I don't know. I'm just asking questions here. It seems like that's cannibalism, but it's also unclear that that's wrong, especially if it's commanded by God. So I just end up making everybody mad. Let's give myself a... So yeah. Yeah. Of course, there's always two of them. I can't find that alive to me. Uh-oh. Well, I'm not timing that very well. Holy crap, I timed that perfectly. We did it. Hello? She won't let me go. There we go. Whew. Okay, it trapped me there for a second. Oh, wow. I do like some of the references to the old game on here. Yep, you got it. It's Chris. We used to play good cop, bad cop. and Matt was the good cop, and I was definitely not the good cop. because I'm a hedgehog. And but now it's almost the reverse. I'm like actually kind of the good cop, and he's kind of like the bad cop because he's just kind of had enough of people's crap. Like, have you seen him on Twitter? Like, that's him. That's all him. He's just like, he just rips people to pieces now. Which I let him, because, I mean, I kind of agree. Pick me up, provides a downed ally. How much? I have a lot. Wow. I have a lot of coins. Oh. Well, let me equip it. No, accessory. Signal ring. Oh, I also have a weapon now. There's another hidden treasure nearby. Oh. Haha. All jokes we love in that area, yeah. Yeah, it's I really only have time to play games, but I thought I should, hey, I mean, like, I can't do much, like, my entire day is filled up with stuff, so it's like, well, if I'm gonna stream, I might as well stream some games. No, dang it. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, cosmic oh. Yeah. When was the last time I was on the channel? The last video I think that we did together was when we... Okay, no. That we actually did together, where I wasn't just sitting there. We interviewed Lance Bush. That's what we did. And we actually agreed on a ton of stuff. Like, you wouldn't believe it. I know. I just beat Final Fantasy VII 3 streams ago. Yeah, Lance is a. So he's primarily, I think it's social psychology, and he's an anti-realist. And we were making the point that there's a difference when talking to people who are anti-realists. Just because they're an anti-realist doesn't mean they're a terrible person, obviously. But the people kind of treat it like that, say, like, that you're a terrible person. So, murder isn't objectively wrong. Like, if you think that you're a terrible person, well, that's not exactly true. There are people who believe just as absurd things who aren't terrible people. I tend to think they're just really confused. But you can have, like, this is well known. You can have disgusting views, but not be a disgusting person. Like, you can express attitudes towards things that are consistent or inconsistent with your views, right? And so a lot of anti-realism to me, and I can explain a number of reasons why I think it's an absolutely horrendous and disgusting and anti-human position. However, I think that the vast majority of people who do hold to anti-realism are not bad people. right? So I just think they're woefully confused. And he's a pragmatist, so he from what I can tell, so he tends to think because of the way, kinds of things he said, he thinks that what's true is what's useful. And I'm not. I take kind of the kind of standard view, which is that whatever's true is what corresponds to reality. Where's this? Where am I going? Huh. Anti-realists are evil. Yeah. I think it's an evil position to take about people and reality. And you know what's funny is I've noticed this. So I do think that people are actually engaged in a performative contradiction when they claim that they're anti-realists and then they express normative attitudes that are just like the realists. Isn't that kind of weird? And the reason so two things. If you'll notice, most people focus on normative things, the normative domains. They focus on moral obligations when it comes to moral anti-realism. They almost never focus on value. Because an anti-realist understanding of value is that everybody is objectively worthless and valueless and purposeless. But the anti-realist would say, but I still care about them. Okay, that's fine. It's not your character I'm worried about. It's your claim that everybody's objectively worthless. Right? That's one thing. People don't tend to anti-realists don't tend to focus on value as much as they do obligations. And the second thing is, I usually put forward an argument that if you're going to be a moral anti-realist, you have just as much reason to be a external world anti-realist and a solipsist. In other words, what if you're going to deny morality? Why don't you just deny the existence of the external world and the existence of other minds? Because the arguments for all three are parallel. You can make the arguments for them parallel, and the arguments against them are also parallel. So people don't tend to think about that kind of stuff because for most people, meta-ethics isn't their area, and I don't expect everybody to know a lot of that stuff. So I don't gotta get angry. I try not to assume malice, right? So I try to just assume ignorance. Sometimes though, I have to assume malice because I can't help it. It's somewhat rare though. Usually in like Clubhouse and Discord conversations, you can see they're just malicious. It's kind of an art. So to like figure out who's actually being malicious and who isn't. Where's this stupid treasure chest? I mean, I think Peter Singer is much more evil than anti-realist, that's for sure. Yeah, the kinds of things he says about kids, it's pretty, yeah, so that's one of those instances too where, man, you do wonder, how did people even get to that point? And that's one of those things I'm just like, it's hard to tell if he's being malicious or he just legitimately is confused, like woefully confused. Regardless, the view that he espouses is evil. And I think he probably still is, he's still probably a professor at Princeton. I don't really think, I think he should maybe look for a different job. But, yeah. But the way the universities are going, he might have to. And same for me. Yeah, I can agree. Personally, I would allow an anti-realist to not be solipsist because I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. Yeah, where's this treasure chest? Yeah, I would just ask them, well, okay, give me a single reason or argument for anti-realism that I can't parallel to other minds. They typically can't do it because all of that stuff is about the foundations of reality, and those kinds of things are things that we have to experience. We kind of experience, directly or immediately, or even immediately. We still experience them. There are appearances. It's what philosophers call intuitions. It's not like your mother's intuition, right? Like it's not like that. It's not like just a guess or a hunch. It's an intellective, or usually it's defined as an intellective appearance. I tend to take it as just an optic appearance. These are just different terms. They're appearances. So if you think, for example, when you look at the sun, hopefully not directly, you're not looking at the sun as it is. You're looking at the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. That's about how long it takes the light of the sun to actually get to your eyes. But that doesn't mean the sun doesn't exist just because the appearance of the sun is delayed, right? So yeah, when it comes to reality, what happens is we experience it, and then we hypothesize and act according to reality. It's not that we just make up reality as we go. It's not. That's literally backwards, and that's what kind of appraiser relativists tend to do. They tend to say, "Well, I appraise reality as such and such, therefore that's the way it is." And I know that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, like simplistic way of saying it, but I think that's what's going on. Views on kids and yeah, allowing bestiality rather than have infanticide. I know he has some ridiculous applied ethical views, which are based upon. So in ethics, you start with your meta-ethical view, then you go to your normative view, sometimes called your ethico-normative view. Then you go down to your applied ethics. So you apply the two theories and the two domains. You apply your theories of meta-ethics and you apply your theory of normativity into your applied ethics. I don't actually know what his theory is. I just know what he posits in his applied ethics. And given what he applies, it seems like he has some pretty crazy theory going on there. Only because it doesn't exist by saying it's an arrangement. Yeah, it's something arranged chair-wise. Even then, we still have experiences of them. Because they're ideas. Man, where's... I'm about to break something. Alright, just go in here. It's not in here. Where is this treasure chest? It says, there's a hidden treasure nearby. Where? Where are you? Oh, I think I remember this actually. I think it's in the middle. No, it's not. Okay, interesting. I've spent so much time trying to find this stupid treasure chest. I might just look it up. Where is this thing? Dang. I'm pretty sure I've jumped everywhere in this entire area. I don't think there's... Oh. I think I know where it is. Later in the game, I think you can jump higher, and I think it's on that ledge. So I've just wasted my time. I can always come back. You're gonna make me run up there? Let them do it for me? Man, I haven't turned my fan on at all. It's hot. Oh, okay, that's a little better. No. He's explaining what happened in the at the beginning of the game. Alright, he let me in the vault. Yay, it's a mushroom. It's a flower. It's some coin. Alright, cool. Is that it? Bye. Alright, keep going. Hey, it's Mallow. There he is. You know, I don't... does anybody on either stream, on YouTube or Twitch, Twitch, know... Huh? Does anybody know on either stream if Mallow shows up in any other game except for Mario RPG? Because I don't remember him in any other game. So, for two reasons. So, I did teach a few classes in religious studies, and that's because looking at other religions, so the way you take a religion as, so I actually think every religion has some kind of thing from God in it, but in order for religion to be true, all of its essentials have to be true. If one of its essentials are false, the entire religion is false. And by that, I don't mean that it doesn't have anything in it that's true. It's just the religion is false if one of its essentials are. And so, for every religion, except for Christianity, it seems that at least one of its essentials are false. And so, I accept Christianity because I think that it's not only that all the other religions have at least one essential that's false, but that Christianity has all of its essentials being true. So it's kind of but it didn't start out that way. It started out as more of a kind of a literal, really strong religious experience. Then I looked at various religions after that. Specifically for like Islam, I don't agree with some various essentials. Like I don't think that the Quran was a dictation. I think that Muhammad's not someone we really want to emulate. So they wouldn't like that. I've read the Quran and a few of the hadiths, and I do not agree with the ethics or the meta ethics in the works. Any of them. Some of them have some decent things, but a lot of them do not. So yeah, ethically, I don't agree. There's a lot of various reasons. You just play Roblox and Minecraft like the 20-year-old. I love Minecraft. I used to make various mods for it. I didn't play Roblox. Oh, I did. I played it once. Yeah, I used to mod. I used to make mod packs specifically. Mallow from Tadpole Pond. I'm a frog. Can you believe it? I can't jump. Embarrassing, huh? You know what? When I saw Mallow in the original, I didn't think he was a frog at all. He always came off as like a cloud or like putty or cream or something. I don't know. He never come off as a frog. Oh, I might have the files. I don't know. It's been a long time. Yeah, I do a lot of different things. Like my day job is so I teach at IU, and I'm a DevOps engineer for an IT MSP. So IT company basically. So those are the two primary things I do, and then I game. It said Mallow, who doesn't look like a frog at all, joins the party. That's funny. I need to find... Oh, go upstairs. I need to find... Is there any equipment I can buy? The guy's asleep. Yeah, I got like 24 minutes probably until I have to go. Okay. Well, I'll buy some armor. What? What armor? I don't see anything listed as an armor shop or anything. So you ought to buy some items and armor at that shop. Oh, hold on. Oh, he is now? Dang. Oh, there we go. Shirt and pants. Jump shoes. Antidote. Prevents poison damage. That's pretty expensive. Let's buy that. Let's equip it. Let's buy some pants. Equip that. Jump shoes. Nah, leave that alone. Okay, bandit's way. Oh. Oh, FP is shared between the entire party. I forgot about that. Should use the attack or recover. If you run special, think carefully about what to use. Oops. Well, I think it has a chance. Yeah. Epistemologically, it's sure, but like, I mean, theologically, I'm pretty close to. I'm like right in the middle of like Methodism and Anglicanism. Wow. Yeah, just theologically. And then I looked for like an Anglican church, and I was like, man, this is boring. Man, Mal's physical attack sucks. Wow. Yeah, more traditional churches. Yeah. I remember Matt at one point, and I had this too. We got kind of got really bored with church, and then he would describe kind of what he wants church to be, and it really just sounds like a Christian university. I was like, well, yeah, they don't really have that in there that much most of the time. Gauge out. Yeah, I don't really want church to be a university, but I would like them. I would like churches to have more, like more in-depth conversations rather than pizza night, you know. Which we actually started going to another church recently, and they actually seem to have that kind of stuff. Oh shoot. Whew. Yeah, or the Anselm days. How do I get back there? Oh dang. Oh, do I have to hit these or something? Oh, they attacked me first. Interesting. Wait, 1 damage? Oh my gosh. HP rank. Oh crap. Well, I don't know where I'm going. I can't get past these things. Oh, I should be able to burn them, right? Flower. What do I do here? Wars and deadly weapons too are God's ideas. Yeah, they are, but it's how the people use them. So everything's actually kind of the same. Like everything that exists is kind of the same, except they're God's ideas. I mean, it's the same kind of thing too. If we think that God sustains everything in existence, right? He's sustaining weapons of war in existence. But in this case, they're just God's ideas instead of material things, like just pure, like independent material things. I don't know what to do here. Let's do this. I got about 10 minutes left, I think. Staying this way is a little I don't know. Ooh, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Man, I don't know how to, do I just go around this? No? Why would he give us the possibility of using a gun? Is that what you're asking? This kind of sounds like kind of like a type of problem of evil or something. Where am I going? Dang it. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Like, there's nowhere to go past this. Through his ideas. So, what is it about them being his ideas rather than conserving material things in existence that makes it a problem? So let's assume they're not his ideas. They're just physical things, like they're just material things that God conserves in existence. He still conserves them in existence, right? And it's not like he's the one that so he allows people, right? He allows people to actually make them. Not exactly make them, but you know. Oh my gosh. There's gotta be something around here. I don't remember what to do here. Let's see. And these things don't spin, and this is blocked right here. And then when I jump over here, I can't get back. So this is just weird. Oh, I can. I can jump up there. Ah. Oops. These hidden treasures are very difficult to find. It's more thinking that if it's what humans made, it's our responsibility for the harmful effects, but under idealism, it sounds like God's responsible since it's how it is within ours. So it's more like constant. So I don't see how us. So they're his ideas, right? But if they're only his ideas in the sense, so we could take things. We could take two of God's ideas and we could combine them into something else. But the thing is, when we combine them, it's not us combining them that makes them something, right? What makes the thing exist is that that new thing is also God's idea, right? So God kind of spawns it into existence, but we still kind of pull the pieces together, right? So we still kind of make it, but God creates it. And there's a difference in Scripture between making and creating. If you make, you use pre-existing things and bring them together to make something else. Creating is God actually making something without needing the prior things in the first place. Right? So it isn't, to me, it doesn't really seem any different than God conserving the gun in existence, because he conserve the pieces too, and then we move the pieces into the shape of a gun, which then he still keeps conserving in existence. Right? So. Now, it's not that it was his idea to make the gun, but he does conserve things in existence. But sometimes he doesn't allow certain things to happen. Like with the fun thing in idealism is like, what was it? I'm trying to remember. Is it Radshak, Meshach, and Abednego? All three of them didn't get burned by the fire, but that's because. The fire that was there was. Hold on. Kill this thing. I don't know how that missed. Anyway, so God has to give permission for us to even interact with his ideas, and if he doesn't give permission, then we can't interact with it, which actually would explain why those three didn't get burned in the fire, because God didn't give any kind of permission for us to interact with that fire. So he kind of stayed the powers of the fire, which is kind of cool to think about. Where am I? Oh, it's up here. I got 3 minutes. Ugh. I kind of want to keep playing, but I need to make a plan for exactly what I'm going to play. This is kind of fun, but I've already played this game, and so I'm thinking about switching to a different game next time. I just didn't have much time to think about it today. You know, I'll probably go up here. Try to find a place to save, and then I'm gonna plan for next time, and then I'll probably have to get. I'm gonna plan what game I'm gonna play. Because I don't know, I have played this game before. This is the same thing. It's just kind of there's a few differences, but it's mostly the same. Right, and it's not God that does the thing, right? It's the people that make the gun. They shoot it. I do have Sekiro. That's on my list of things to play. gear to get all the achievements. I've never even tried to do that for virtually any game. Fire, fear, poison, and immune. He's got 30 health left. Okay, so let's make some plans. Well, dang, hold on. Can I save before I do anything else here? I want to save. There we go. Okay. So, alright. So we have some options about what to play. I don't know. I do. Let me decide. Hold on. So we got some options here. So I had either playing Pokemon Diamond or Mario RPG. And to be honest, Mario RPGs is kind of boring to me right now because I've already beat the original, and to me, Mario RPG doesn't really have that much replay value. So I don't know on that one. Let me think. I know the game after, so I'll pick a game, but the game after that, I know exactly what game I'm playing there. And that's one of the East games, YS, so East 3. But as for this, so as for next time, it's between Pokemon Diamond and this one. Let me see Pokemon Diamond. Do we have to use? I don't really. I kind of like the traditional Pokemon games where I don't have to use two screens. Kind of what I was looking for. But it looks like everything, at least starting with Fire Red and Leaf Green, we have to use dual screens, and I really don't want to do that with an emulator. So I don't know. I'm kind of cut here. I was gonna see if I could find a. Let me see. So we'll figure out what game we're gonna play next before I get off stream, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get after that. Cause I gotta get to sleep. I gotta wake up at 5 something in the morning. Pokemon game lists. So let's see. So yeah, obviously I beat Red, Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, all that. Gold and Silver I've beaten. Crystal, Ruby and Sapphire, Fire Red and Leaf Green, Emerald. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Okay. Yep. Diamond and Pearl. Platinum is a. Yeah, Platinum's DS. Heart, Gold, and Soul Silver. Oh, those look like remakes of Gold and Silver. Black and White. Nintendo DS. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Yeah, those feel just like remakes to me. 3DS for the, yeah. See, I don't know. After the third generation of Pokemon, that was the last generation I actually knew the Pokemon. I feel like if I play a Pokemon game now, I'm not gonna know any of the Pokemon, and I'm just not gonna put as much effort into it. I was kind of wanting to go back and play Pokemon games, but I'm so far behind that I don't know. It's just kind of daunting. Okay, I'll get it. I'm just saying. So, I'm probably gonna just skip on the Pokemon. Honestly. I don't know. I might come back to it though. Now, this Mario RPG or. See, I was gonna play Digimon World DS as well, but that's on DS, obviously. Well, alright, let's see. See, look at a DS simulator here. I'm just planning for the future. Planning, planning, planning. Downloads. Digimon World. Let's look at, let's try this. Dun, dun. Can I? Frame skip sound, microphone slots, lock control config. Okay, give me a second. So I'm just trying to set up a DS simulator to a way that I can actually, light it. Down, right. B. I don't even know. B A Y X. Start. Select. Left. Right. Up left. Up right. Down. Just press OK there. Alright. Let me, so there's no sound to me, but let me, okay. So I think I have this set up for everything. Downloads Pokemon Diamond. I mean, maybe I will go back to Diamond. I don't know. It does look like my emulator's set up though. Do I have Smash on? Yeah, I do. Actually, I have the I had the limited edition Switch for Smash. It's kind of hard to probably gonna be hard to see, but yeah. So I will say, so the first 3 Smashes are the 3 that I like. After that, I started losing interest. Like the original and Melee and Brawl. My best one was actually probably Brawl. After that, I started to it started to become, this skill ceiling went down, but it was more of a became more of a party game where you could just pick up the controller and be pretty good. Now that doesn't mean you could be pro, but the skill ceiling from like the first 3 is so high, and then I'm more of a competitive person on that. Like I want to be ridiculously good and a high skill ceiling. But the latest ones, especially Ultimate, felt so much not like that. There's still strategy and still be really good at the game, but I don't know. I kind of lost interest. So I guess I have 3 choices for next time, so I will think on it. Next time we're either going to do Pokemon Diamond, or we're going to do Digimon DS. I'm actually more of a Digimon guy, believe it or not. I like Digimon a lot better, but Pokemon's still really good, so I'm either going to, we'll see. I'll decide between those 2, Digimon DS or Pokemon Diamond. If I don't do Pokemon Diamond, it's probably because I'm just not going to do a Pokemon game. Because I'm so far behind, it's just crazy. I'm probably not going to continue with the Mario RPG because I beat this game before. It's just different graphics, basically, so I don't know. And there's not much replay value, so I probably won't do much with this next time. But it was fun. It was fun to kind of revisit it. So it's between those 2, huh? So bootleg Pokemon or or Pokemon, yeah. Honestly, most Nintendo games feel like a party game nowadays. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So I'm just thinking. It bothers me not knowing what I'm going to play next before I end the stream. Alright, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna put a list. So I have a Discord here for stream, and I'm gonna put the list in order of ones I'm gonna play. So I'm gonna actually switch over, and I guess the only problem with Digimon DS is the screen size is just really small. So I might not be doing DS much of anything. So how big can I make this screen? View, window size, 5 times. Ooh, I can make it larger. Great. View, screen size ratio, window size, full screen options. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh well, actually, this'll work. Okay, so DS games are an option for me. All right, then I'm gonna. I think here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put the list like this. So in order, we got Digimon World DS is what we're going to start next time. Then we're going to play East 3. Then we're going to play Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak. Then East 4. Then Wild Arms 4. Then Fire Emblem Warriors. And then East 5. Alright, and I'm gonna put that in the Discord so that I know what I'm doing. Anyway, okay, now we actually have our plan, and we can start it next time. So, I'll go ahead and set some. I'll go ahead and end stream, and then I'm gonna set some stuff up, and I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go sleep. Yeah, I like having a plan. Anyway, yeah, I will talk to everybody on Sunday. I stream Wednesdays and Sundays. So I'll talk to everybody Sunday, and we'll start some Digimon World DS. And I'm excited. I love the Digimon World games. So, we might work in Pokemon later on, but right now I just don't have the motivation to catch up. Eventually, we might come back to a Pokemon game, though, and if we do, it'll be Pokemon Diamond. So anyway, I will talk to y'all Sunday. Take it easy.